Which chiropractic technique is the best? It's not necessarily a single one, but I'm going to tell you what to look for. Hey, I'm Dr. Ekberg with Wellness for Life, and if you'd like to truly master health by understanding how the body really works, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss anything. Someone recently asked me a question on YouTube and asked if activator was a good technique for chiropractic, and I'm going to fill you in a little bit on what to look for in a chiropractic technique. So the short answer is the technique is exactly as good as the doctor performing it. So if you have a really good doctor doing full spine, then it's a good technique. If you have a really good doctor doing applied kinesiology, then that's a good technique. There's over 300 different chiropractic techniques, and each one does something a little bit different, but they all have something in common if they're performed properly. And this is what sets chiropractic apart. In chiropractic, you observe something and then you find something that is out of balance. You measure leg length difference, you check postural differences, you can measure temperature, or you can do a muscle test like I do. And if you find something that isn't the way it's supposed to be, if it's not level, if it's not aligned, if it's not holding when you push on the muscle, then that's a problem. Then the chiropractor makes an adjustment and then he goes back and rechecks. So you look for something that's out of balance or something that's not working, and then you give the adjustment. And what that is, it's you're giving the body information. And if that information is useful for the body, then you go back and recheck and you can see an improvement. If there was a postural misalignment, then that should be better. If there was a leg length difference, it should be better. If there was a muscle that wasn't working, it should now be working. And if you have made a change, the thing that you have made a change to is the central nervous system. Because the brain controls the muscles move the bones and align things. And in the time it takes to make an adjustment, you can't rebuild muscles. You can't make any tissue changes to the body. What you can do is you can change how the body processes, and that is what the central nervous system does. So what I tell people an adjustment actually is it's a stimulation, it's an input of information to the nervous system that creates a pattern interrupt. You could also call it a jump start, or you could call it resetting a circuit breaker. So we are an electrical system, and all the changes that take place in a short period of time is to that electrical system that manages everything. So chiropractors tend to favor their own technique, and they tend to not look so favorably on other techniques, mainly because they don't understand them. So I am so happy that I went through a lot of additional neurology courses where I started understanding how the brain works and what chiropractic actually does, because then I understood the commonality, what all chiropractic techniques have in common. They all do something to affect the nervous system. Chiropractors do not take pressure off nerves, they put pressure on receptors. Receptors generate signals, and with specific receptor stimulation we can rebalance the nervous system. That's what all chiropractic techniques have in common, and like I said, if you find a good practitioner, then that's a good technique. However, you may have heard me say that the world has changed more in the last 50 years than it has in the previous 50,000. So the world we live in, the rules have changed. And even since chiropractic was founded a little over 100 years ago, the world has changed dramatically. And chiropractic has always talked about the three sides of a triangle. They talk about chemical, structural, and emotional balance. So the body is influenced by chemical signals, structural, mechanical signals, and by emotional signals. So you could have your blood pressure change by thinking something different. That's an emotional signal. You can have signals to your brain change depending on your posture or how much you move. You can have signals change depending on what you eat or if you take a drug. A drug is a chemical that interferes with signals. So if we understand how much the world has changed in the last 50 years, then we understand that the chemical, structural, emotional, all has to be addressed if we want to be truly healthy. That's what a holistic chiropractor does. In our office, we address all of those. An interesting thing is that the founder of chiropractic, D.D. Palmer, he wrote a book in 1912, and already he said that that bone in your neck is as likely to be misaligned due to eating processed food as it is due to trauma. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said. That the other factors, it's not just posture and trauma and accidents, any of the other factors are equally likely to start creating imbalances. And in our world, we have more food allergies, we have more chemicals, we have more heavy metals, we have more pollution, we have more electromagnetic radiation than we've ever had before, and these are factors that we must take into consideration. So if your subluxation, if your misalignment is caused, at least in part, by a metal or a chemical or a food allergy, then that adjustment is going to be a temporary reset. It's not going to fix the problem. It'll make you feel better, but you're going to have to get adjusted over and over and over and over until you help the body deal with that metal or that chemical or that food sensitivity. I sometimes ask a patient, if your shoulder pain is caused by a heavy metal toxicity, would you like me to work on your shoulder or your metal toxicity? Food for thought. We have to address the cause. So in our office, we work with chiropractic adjustments. We show people stretches and postural exercises. We have nutritional counseling, and we have detoxification programs. So in our office, we work on all three sides of the triangle, and we have good tools to provide help in all those areas. So for the structural, we work with chiropractic and exercise and stretches and postural retraining. For the chemical side, we work with nutritional counseling, whole food natural supplements, and detoxification programs. And for the emotional side, to help people relax, to help them enter into a relaxation response, we have biofeedback, we have audio-visual entrainment, and programs to help retrain the brain into a more relaxed behavior. So if you want a good chiropractor, look for someone who observes something, adjusts, and then reobserves, and can show you the changes to your satisfaction. And then in addition, I would suggest today look for a holistic chiropractor who can address all areas that might influence and interfere with your health. If you know someone who might be looking for a chiropractor, make sure to share this information so that they can know what to look for. If you enjoy this kind of information and you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that we can keep this content coming your way. Thank you so much.